Hello, love. Welcome to Transmission Tuesdays here on the Libran Key. These are transmission messages of a cosmic, galactic, other-realmly origin for the highest and the greatest good of the ELSH collective empaths, Lightworkers, Starseeds and Healers, awakened and awakening souls. Know that if this message has found you and or if you have found it, that there is something here for you. That is always the intention that I put into these messages. Family, thank you for being here. Sending you so much love wherever you are. And if you are finding this message for the first time, a very warm and loving welcome to you. This Transmission Tuesday's message is being recorded on the Libran Equinox, the autumn or fall equinox in North America. This would then also be the spring equinox in the southern hemisphere as well. All coming through, certain energies wanting to come through here to support us, to assist us in the energy recalibration for fall. And they're actually saying even for spring emerging. Now, I am currently in Canada, so I will be speaking specifically to Momma Gaia or through Momma Gaia because she's coming through for this message as well to calibrate for this particular time of the year in terms of if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. She will bring through messages for the Southern Hemisphere as well, although I do feel that a lot of the focus with the Southern Hemisphere is just coming back to this energy of recalibration. But specifically what I'm getting for the Northern Hemisphere and the energy of fall and Libra, the energy of Libra and the sun being in its fall is significant here, okay? So I will be focusing on that for this message. And we'll get a little bit into the astrology of that, and I'll give a little bit of an update with regard to the archetypes, the astrological archetypes. I do want to give a bit of an update for the channel for that. We have the energies of Archangel Michael coming through for this message. He is associated, especially with the teachings of the occult Christ. Ted Andrews, that particular book that I've referenced numerous times on this channel, he is associated, he's the archangel that is associated with the energies of fall and the fall equinox. The energies of the Venusians, Venus, Aphrodite coming through as well, connected to Libra. We also have the Fae realm wanting to kind of give us a little nod for this message, and also the energies of Commander Ashtar. He is very much associated with the Venusians and also the energies of Archangel Michael, okay, as he has presented himself to me. So we're going to be asking through the Gateway of Light Activation Oracle, this Kyle Gray deck. I'm going to read actually the inside of this because it really pertains to what we're going through right now. Momma Gaia also coming through for these messages. The Fairy Oracle, and I'm going to be asking through Pamela's Mini Genius over here as well. The Rider-Waite Smith. So I'm being given a few things right now. This is going to kind of be a bit of an energetic update, but more than anything, this is an energy recalibration, okay? These messages are timely yet timeless. And again, they can apply even if you are in the Southern Hemisphere with regard to whenever you find this particular message, okay? The point here being this is an energy recalibration, and this is where Momma Gaia comes in. Okay, for this particular part of the year. I'm also working with Peach Selenite for this particular message because we're going to be having a lot of activations, downloads, and more shadow work and purging, peeling back the layers of this conditioning onion, okay? When the sun goes into Libra, astrologically speaking, it is in its fall astrologically. This is counter to when the sun is in Aries and exalted, right? Meaning that we have It's in a really good placement. It jives. The sun just kind of jives with it being in Aries. but not so much when it's in Libra. And what I say by that, and I can speak to this as a Libra sun with a Libra stellium, and please leave a comment below if this also applies to you, whether you're a Libra rising, whether you're a Libra sun, moon, whether you have prominent placements in Libra, whether Venus is your chart ruler connected to Libra, you know the drill, okay? So the reason why the sun is in its fall simply in Libra, if we look at it from a more astrological, ancient astrological, astronomical point of view, is that the days begin to get shorter. And of course, I'm speaking to the Northern Hemisphere here, okay? The days begin to get shorter as we move into Libra season. And this is Momma Gaia coming in here now to speak to the slowing down, the starting of the more inner cycles and divine feminine cycles and energies of her cycle itself, okay? So when we begin to move into this time of the year, we start to go more inward. Libra as a sign and as an archetype, and I will be going back to doing these archetype videos. The last time I did an archetype video, it was for Virgo, and it seems fitting now. I'm being guided to sort of pick up where I left off with this Libra season. So I'm going to be working on that and releasing that video as we move into Libra season, move further into Libra season. The sun in Libra is a very interesting energy, because when we get to the Libran part of the year, just like this equinox, and on the wheel of the zodiac, right? We are now moving into a space where we are very much focused on the other. Because Libra, in contrast to Aries, is the sign that is not associated with the I am or the self, but I relate. How do I relate? So our focus, once we get to Libra, goes outward, and it's very relational, and it's very much connected to duality and the integration of that duality within the self, okay? This can also represent a union of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and how we navigate those sort of things as well once we get to the sign of Libra. I do remember, oh my God, I can't remember the name of this particular astrologer, but it really pinged for me when I heard it, when he spoke to, we often associate Scorpio with being the sign of sexuality, and it's connected to that, right? But it's connected in a different way. And Libra is the sign that really is the beginning of our understanding of sexuality and how polarity interacts. I mean, if you just think of, it's interesting because how I relate to it, and I don't know, this is coming through for some reason, but we're just going to go there. I don't want to get too off topic because I know that this will come up in the archetype video. Libra is very much connected to the concept of polarity, connected to sexuality, and Libra is ruled by Venus. And Venus is inherently the divine feminine aspect of sexuality. So it's very connected to receptivity, connected to sensuality, connected to the idea of love and the idea of sexuality. But when we get into Scorpio, which traditionally is ruled by Mars and modernly ruled by Pluto, it's the actual energy of sexuality itself. Because it's not until we get together that we start to explore that energy together. Obviously, we can explore this energy on our own, but when we begin to actually interact with another person, there's a magic. There's a third kind of entity, is how I've always seen it, okay? And this is what Libra gets. And then when we move into Scorpio, we go a lot deeper into that because we've created the conditions for us to do that in a safe space or in this interaction. Anyway, that is completely going in another tangent, and I gotta get back to this, or else this video is gonna be like 40 minutes long. Unless you dig that. So basically, I just want to pop a few cards here to get us calibrated to the emerging fall energies. And I want to start with reading the inside of this message. And if you want to pause the screen and read it yourself, I'm going to read it because this is very much what we're going into right now. Whether you're in the Northern Hemisphere or the Southern Hemisphere, as above, so below, so within, as without, connections to heaven and earth through the stargate of your heart. Libra and Venus, by extension of that, is a very heart-centered sign, an archetype, although it is connected to the energies of the mind as well. And there's a bit of a narrative there, or I should say, an interesting story when we look at the Libran archetype about returning to the heart, and the heart, the mind serving the heart, okay? But that's a whole other thing that we'll get into in terms of the archetypes. But this is essentially what we're talking about here, connections to heaven and earth. So the cycles of Momma Gaia, we are all earthlings, starseeds, lightworkers, healers, empaths alike. We're still earthlings because we have incarnated here on earth, and we are attuned to the rhythms of Momma Gaia, whether we realize it or not. So I think that that is a really beautiful way to sort of start this video off and reconnect, in a sense, to this connection that we have to heaven and earth through the stargate of our heart, okay? So I'm just going to see what wants to come out here in terms of an activation as we move into this next portion of the year. And again, what Momma Gaia is showing me, that this activation will apply to you whether you are in the Northern Hemisphere or the Southern Hemisphere. She keeps on coming to this shadow work energy again, ongoing, no matter where we are. And the more internal energies that will be working within the Northern Hemisphere, and the external energies that will be working within the Southern Hemisphere, okay? Solar light upgrade, solar plexus chakra, inner fire and will power. And at the bottom of the deck, we've got crystal skull wisdom, clarity, divine healing, high vibrational energy. Very interesting. So what is really fascinating about this particular card coming out is that it can go both ways. So this solar plexus upgrade potentially happening, whether you're in the Northern Hemisphere or in the Southern Hemisphere, is going to be expressed in different ways. 1313 on the counter as I say that, because it's connected to some kind of rebalancing that's taking place within the solar plexus, okay? Specifically, they are speaking to empaths here. I've got the energies of Archangel Michael really stepping up for this as well, with regard to healthy boundaries, having the willpower and the stamina, I'm hearing, to enforce those healthy boundaries. Remember that the South Node is still in Libra, okay? So we're still learning a lot of lessons for that. This crystal skull wisdom is really coming through for the fall and for the Northern Hemisphere in terms of divine healing, clarity around the choices that you have made throughout the summer, especially because they're showing me August and September and moving into Virgo season, and being able to bring in more high vibrational energy into your light body. 1414 on the counter as I say that. I'm going to read the solar light upgrade because I feel that there's something in that. And of course, take this if it resonates, leave it if it does not. You can proceed to do this upgrade of your own free will. The imagery is just absolutely beautiful. I'm getting a lot of Merkaba energy with that as well. So this is also going to be a kind of light upgrade to the light body, okay? Here it is. When the solar light gateway opens, our solar plexus becomes an infinite well of light in the pit of our being. This is the source of daily inspiration and ancient wisdom. So what they're showing me is that throughout the day, you may be finding, moving forward as we move throughout Libra season, okay, inspirations pinging, ancient wisdom that you're accessing more easily than before because you've been doing the work. When we feel our willpower increasing, we are remembering that we have prepared for many incarnations for the opportunities we have today. I'm getting also the message here of potential past life regressions happening. Either you're planning to do these things, that's a confirmation for you, or you're going to be having these spontaneous rememberings. This could be also through dreams where you're remembering a past life, and something about this is informing how you're moving forward on your spiritual journey. Okay, so here's the activation, and you can do this on your own time. You can do it now. You can pause the video. I'm just going to read it and invite you to do it of your own free will, of course, if you feel this resonates for you. Place both your hands on the pit of your stomach. Breathe to them, visualizing a great fiery light switching on. Call your solar power up and out. So this is a practice that you can do on the daily, is what they're showing me. I'm hearing where you're literally rebuilding your solar plexus. So this might also be a nod to perhaps some kind of work that you've been doing recently around this. Tuning into this imagery, working with different shades of yellow as color therapy. Also working with certain essential oils. I'm actually getting Roman chamomile for this. Interesting. Any essential oils connected to the solar plexus. Lemon, verbena, all connected to the solar plexus. Okay, here's the message. I feel like I gotta read this. I will finish with this, just holding this up. The light of the great central sun is shining on you, activating you to push onward and create. This is the perfect time to move forward with projects, goals, and intentions. Align your energy with whatever you are ready to create and experience. Focus on what you are ready to grow and where you are ready to expand. As you focus on your goals, you are giving them energetic encouragement to flourish and open like the warm summer sun kissing the ground, encouraging the flowers to grow and bloom. That sunlight has arrived. It's here in you now. And what I'm getting with that is, again, this is not necessarily an energy of doing. Although what they're showing me is we're kind of tying up loose ends right now. This is interesting. That's the energy that's coming through. And it's not counterintuitive to feel like there's certain things you need to clear up before you move forward. There's something about this process and this action that's going to assist you in getting clearer with regard to the next goal that you need to get to. The next intention you need to work on is what I'm hearing. The next affirmations you need to work with. But really what they want to emphasize here is working with this solar plexus energy to be rebalanced and tuning in to the cycles of Momma Gaia and the sun in order to do that. Okay. Moving on now to the Fairy Oracle. Oh, that was fast. Oh, this had come up last time, or at the bottom of the deck anyway. Teachers, right? Mentors. Some of us also working with certain guides. I always hear see the forest for the trees when I see this card. I always hear that. And then we've got 22 at the bottom of the deck. This is a beautiful image. What I'm getting with this is a lot of divine feminine energy coming through. The number 22 is a master number. Okay, we go from 32 to 22, which I think is interesting. There's something here. I'm hearing actually retrograde. Isn't that interesting? A feeling of looking back and reflection that is required in order for us to take up our wings and fly. This is coming directly from the Fae realm. I am going to read 22. I absolutely love that card. It's so beautiful. This imagery is by the artist Arthur Rackham. Just absolutely beautiful. He's really interesting. Look him up, okay? Righteous. Interesting. Two fairies hover against springtime flowers. They preen, their chest pulled out. Who are they presenting to? Interesting. And immediately I'm hearing, again, this is for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere in the spring equinox. They seem to be self-indulging in the moment, not allowing any external presence to disturb their ritual. Interesting. There's a double message here coming. Be at your best and truly know your own greatness. So this applies obviously to anyone watching this at the moment, whether you're in the Southern or Northern Hemisphere. But what's interesting is this sort of energy that is being reflected in the Southern Hemisphere of taking flight, okay, in conjunction with working with this solar light upgrade. So this might be a specific message for some of you with regard to, I've done the work and now I'm really taking action. I'm moving forward. I feel like I'm taking off. I feel like I'm taking off, right? This is about knowing your worth. And that is connected, interestingly enough, to this energy of the solar plexus. It's the inner child. It's the inner child that knows their worth. The inner child that is very attuned to their own energy. Asking now through Pamela's mini deck for some clarification moving forward with regard to this. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles. Beautiful. So again, they just want to reiterate this, knowing your worth. And this is interesting because it's connected to this Libran energy of coming back to yourself, of looking to that, because everything exists on a spectrum with astrology. We've got Libra, we've got Aries. We've got the South Node in Libra right now, and we've got the North Node in Aries. 2222 on the counter as I say that, and that just wanted to pop out of my hand. She really wants to make this point. Knowing our worth. Oftentimes, how I see the astrological wheel is we always kind of need to go to our opposite as part of the journey to balance. And this being the equinox, it is all about balance. So it's about going to the opposite, functioning on that plane of duality and polarity to understand what we need to integrate in ourselves, what we need to work on ourselves in order to come to this point of integration. And one of the things I've always said about Libran energy is looking to Aries to recalibrate, to rebalance the energy of self. Because the Libra archetype is very focused on others. It's very focused on relating. It's a very, it's like that quintessential number 2 and what it represents. But sometimes that doesn't, again, we go through points in our journey where we need to integrate and perhaps take a look at how we can alchemize, is how I'm being shown it, the energy of our opposite. I know that's a pretty big message, and take however that resonates for you and how that's pinging for you. Yeah, it's coming out of this conflict of the mind, with regard to your self-worth. This is very much connected to that inner fire, to the solar plexus, and to how are you speaking to yourself. Again, this is Swords energy. How are you communicating to yourself? That Queen of Wands looked like she wanted to come out too. Yeah, this is interesting because in certain traditions, this represents the moon in Libra. And we've got the number 2 coming out here. I'm also hearing with this a harmonization of the minds. The mind in its entirety coming out of this fractured mind. Wow, swords just wanting to make an appearance here. 6 of Swords, right? Coming out in reverse. I want me to pop one more card with this. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So with these 2 coming out at the end here in reverse, 2 of Cups at the bottom of the deck, there is a specific message here with regard to relationships. And it's funny because we're still in this eclipse portal and they're reminding me of this right now as a final message. We're going to close out with this. This is about making space in your energy body, in your mind even, because it starts with the mind and connected to the mind, making space for right relationships to come through. These are the Venusians coming through for this now. It is connected to this solar plexus upgrade. When you align to your inner fire, when you align to your authentic self, you inadvertently, and by way of doing that, align to right relationship. So when you do the work on this, you're going to be seeing the shifts happening around you. And they keep on wanting to emphasize here the need to tend to our mind, the conflict of the mind, to start alchemizing, changing up how we're speaking to ourselves in order to align to this energy. This energy of closing out this cycle of feeling we're not worthy enough, very much connected to this inner child and this solar plexus energy. They keep on reiterating here the power of affirmations. And interestingly enough, the work of Joe Dispenza. Isn't that funny? And that's been coming up a little bit recently as well. Working with your heart center, working with the energies of love and gratitude. 2727 on the counter as I say that, so that we're able to let go of these lingering feelings of unworthiness, lingering feelings of what we feel we're not worthy of in terms of relationship, okay? And I mean relationship here in every sense is what they're bringing through when I say that. Because this death card has so many different kinds of people on it, doesn't it? Okay? So this is about relationship to self, relationship to friends, family, loved ones, romantic relationships, your soulmate connections, fill in the blank, your work relationships, every single relationship you can think of. And specifically what I'm hearing is relationships that feel like partnerships, because we are talking about Libra, and that's what Libra is all about. Okay, I'm going to end it there. Bringing in the peach selenite in. Thank you, peach selenite. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Thank you, Commander Ashtar. Thank you to the Venusians. Thank you to the Fae for coming through for these messages. I thank you for being here, for sharing your time and your energy with us in this space. A very happy and blessed Libra fall, spring equinox, depending on where you are in the world. A very blessed Mabon to you. And I'm sending you so much love wherever you are, in love and liberation, always.